At the time of recording this video, it was announced that Syncxin is no longer under Entertainment and has signed with a new agency. While some references to their former entertainment may still appear, I will be censoring the name out of respect, as Syncxin is no longer affiliated with them. You may hear a brief beep in place of the name. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another video. I know, it's been a minute, but we're back, and today we're diving into some of your unpopular opinions surrounding Syncxin. I asked you all on social media to send them in, and let's just say, you all had some things to say, so grab a snack, get comfy, and let's get into the chaos. Exactly. These girls are insanely talented, vocally, visually, and their stage presence is no joke. But the way the management team handled them was so frustrating. It often felt like we as fans had to beg for more covers, more YouTube content, more chances to actually see their abilities. And that's not on the girls. That was fully on the company's management team. If you're not putting your artists in situations where they can shine, how do you expect them to grow or gain attention? On top of that, I feel like was more focused on the international market than actually building a solid foundation in Korea. Don't get me wrong, the love they get from places like India and Russia, thanks to Nova and Arya's representation, is amazing for global reach. But without that domestic support, it's nearly impossible to build real visibility in the Korean industry. What was even more concerning was how seemed more interested in chasing random viral moments than focusing on steady growth. A perfect example, my idol.
Let's do it again. Syncxin.
And sorry to any fans of the song, but we really didn't need that track. It didn't fit the concept of the album at all. Sure, it got attention, but for all the wrong reasons. Some called it cute or quirky, but a lot of people found it cringe, and it ended up pushing potential fans away. It's like the management was throwing things at the wall, hoping something sticks, instead of actually building a strategy that shows off what the girls are really capable of. Now, to be fair, I do think did try to make some efforts. We got to see a few glimpses of the members' personalities through mini-vlogs and day-out content. There were a few covers and dance clips, such as the 2 performance videos introducing NIZZ and Hannah as new members. But after that, it's been inconsistent. Most of the time, it's just NIZZ and Isha singing on live now and then. But I'd love to see more. I want to see more of Nova, maybe a rap or dance cover. I'd love to see Hannah or Arya doing a vocal performance, even just a short one, or at least some more group singing content. Maybe the company was playing it safe and only letting them do things they had already specialized in. But I just want something that really highlights their ability. In the end, it really felt like it all came down to money and how badly it was being managed. They were investing in the wrong things instead of focusing on what would actually help the group grow. But in the end, they've finally left that hell of a company, and I just pray that whatever happens now will help them get the recognition they deserve. Honestly, I get where that opinion comes from. We've gotten so used to the current lineup that it feels like this is what Syncxin was always meant to be. The former members left pretty early into Syncxin journey, so a lot of fans didn't really have time to form a strong connection with them. That's not to say there wasn't chemistry back then, because watching their older content, you can tell the previous members genuinely cared about the group and the girls. But over time, fans naturally adjusted to the changes, and now this lineup feels like home. No shade at all to the former members. I'm genuinely happy to see them thriving in their own paths, and I wish them all the best. Sorry, but I couldn't agree more. There was always an ongoing what-if conversation around Syncxin, like, where would they be now if they weren't under Entertainment in the first place? And personally, I believe Syncxin could have been much further ahead in the girl group scene by now. Don't get me wrong. When I say Syncxin could have been bigger, I mean realistically, not like where groups like IV and aespa are right now, since they have a massive advantage, coming from big companies with top-tier production. But what I mean is that they could be standing alongside groups like Classy, Reseen, or Meow. They've got the talent, the visuals, and the potential to stand beside those names. And it's kind of wild when you think about it. Newer groups are debuting and already surpassing XN in visibility and popularity. That says a lot about how much they were being held back. Now, when it comes to the music itself, yeah, I agree the production could have been better. It did improve slightly. When they released Acha, I could tell there was a jump in production quality. However, I genuinely feel like the company just didn't have the funding or the right connections to bring in solid producers or collaborators to help craft stronger tracks and better production in the beginning. And I'll give some credit. They did the right thing by testing new looks and giving the girls a distinct concept and clearly tried to invest a little into their debut. We saw a massive rise in budget in song and MV production when it came to Synchronize. And then all of a sudden, when No Doubt was released, we saw a massive decrease. It wasn't horrible, but it was surprising how low the quality had become when No Doubt was released. And in all honesty, I don't know what happened there, but I kind of prefer Synchronize. Compared to No Doubt, Synchronize was interesting, fresh, new, and it was hella bold. I loved that era, and I hope they will be able to pull something like that again. Debuting under a lesser-known company is already a steep hill to climb. To be able to have a successful debut, you need to show the audience what the members can bring to the table. But did a big whoopsie and wasn't able to keep the momentum going after Synchronize was released, and this slowed the elevation of where XN deserves to be. I feel like this isn't even an unpopular opinion. Most people do acknowledge that all the XN members are strong dancers. But if I had to highlight something, I'd say Aria's growth has been the most noticeable. Not just in terms of dancing, but her stage presence and confidence have really leveled up. She even mentioned on B Stage that she used to look clueless on stage during the early days of their debut, and now she's owning it. That kind of progress just proves how much effort she's putting in, and I'm so proud of her and the members. I kind of get where you're coming from. XN definitely has a lot of potential, and it's clear the girls are talented, but I think comparing them directly to Baby Monster might not be entirely fair. The Baby Monster girls trained under YG for years, some since they were kids, and that kind of long-term training, especially under such a major label, really shows in their performance and songs. As much as I love XN, compared to the Baby Monster girlies, I think Baby Monster takes the crown. That being said, XN is doing something really unique. They're building their identity with less industry backing, and that takes a lot of strength. I do agree that they haven't had songs that fully show off what they can do yet, but that might change soon. The girls have been giving us little hints on B Stage about practicing and dieting, which is usually done by many K-pop groups to prepare for a comeback. And with the recent move to a new company, it seems like the preparations of their comeback seem to get closer and closer, and I definitely will tune in. Definitely. In this industry, it's already difficult to speak openly about mistreatment, especially with NDAs making it even harder. But the girls were smart and subtle about it. Instead of calling things out directly, they wrote it into a diss track and released it as Acha. It honestly caught a lot of us off guard. Fans had already started getting suspicious about how the group was being managed, and Acha felt like the confirmation. While they never directly named anyone, they made it clear they'd been mistreated by someone on the team. And we can kind of connect the dots, from Nova's hints on B Stage, telling us to re-listen to Acha and pick up the clues, to the girls, Control X and their stylist leaving the company. It all speaks volumes. But to whoever mistreated the girls, they can personally catch these fists, because they caused a whole delay in the girls' comeback. Once again, screw that company and their trash management. Well, that brings us to the end of these XN unpopular opinions. If you didn't get a chance to share yours, or if you've got thoughts on anything mentioned, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Thank you so much for watching, and let's keep supporting XN together. Stay tuned for more. Bye.